Welcome to the Knowledge Series. Under the course EC 407 Computer Communication, we are going to discuss in the area related to the information security. What is information security? If you see this slide, it refers to the process and methodology which are designed and implemented to protect print, electronics, or any other forms of confidential, private, and sensitive information or data from unauthorized access, use, misuse, disclosure, destructions, modifications, or disruptions. This means it is the informations and our ability to access that information that we are really trying to protect and not the computers and networks. So in the age of electronic, we all are witnessing that heavy data are being processed between the networks, and these data need to be protected so that the hackers will not able to access the data and should not try to manipulate it. Hence, in the information security, when we talk about the informations, it's nothing but a data. Security is nothing but an activities related to the protections. So the network security, if you try to talk from the aspects of the information securities, there are two things is that these informations, it need to be protected from the flow, so that within the network this information should be intact. Here we are not talking with respect to the computers, rather we are accessing or we are stressing more on the informations. As far as the informations, when we consider, there are two developments that leads with respect to these information securities aspects. One is computer security and the network security. Computer security, it deals with the collections of tools and that need to be designed so that it can protect the data from the thought hackers. And network security, it tries to measures the need to protect data during transmissions. So one side it talks about the protection of data within the computer. Another is that the protection of data outside the computer, that is during the transmissions. So these two aspects we consider from the angle of the information security. So looking into this information security in a further broader aspects, if we talk, we say the information security's definition as a computer security. So computer security is a generic names and it talks with respect to the collection of tools that need to protect the data and to thwart the hackers. So computers means we are protecting the computer. How? We are using a password. Whenever you try to use the systems, it will ask for the username passwords. So that is, you are allowing the users to first of all access inside into the computers. So that is one protection. The other protection is that say you are the user can able to access into the systems, and not user, the hackers is accessing into the systems through by breaking the password. Thereby, if the hacker want to access the particular folder, so we can have a folder password protections. Then we can have another way is that if the hacker can able to enter into the break the folder password and enter into it and try to access the some of the files like a Word file. So you can give a protections with respect to the Word file from opening, or a PDF want to access, we can give a PDF Word by using a password protections, or we can give a Excel a password protection. Like that, different file systems we can able to protect. So this is a computer security. The network security, on the other hand, it measures to protect data during the transmission. That means during the transmission from a node to node, how the data can be coded, so that the hackers cannot able to access that particular data, or may not even if the hackers view that particular data, will not able to recognize what the data content it means. Internet security, it measures to protect the data during the transmissions over a collection of interconnected networks. That means during when we talk about internet, it's a multiple networks where the several nodes used to receive the informations, and that information is further processed with its own header files to the next nodes. So during that particular case, this hacker should not able to break the code, thereby it can able to access the data. So that is how the internet security plays a major roles in in protecting the informations. So if you try to see this particular figure, the intruder knowledge with respect to the attacker sophistications, we find that the intruder knowledge is just like inversely proportional. And nowadays, as the number of attackers is keeps on increasing, the intruder knowledge find it difficult, because the even if the attackers is trying different means to break the codes, but the system is getting more and more configured and more and more secured means, thereby it can able to it can able to protect from the hackers penetration into the systems. So here on the one side you can see just like a linear curve, where you can see a different type of a viruses attack, distributed attack, DDoS attack, increase in the worms, like the different attack is being shown. So one side a low attack is shown, another side a high attacker is there. So for the high attack, the intruder knowledge is very high. It will try to look for an internet social engineering attack, a GUI intruder attack. These are nothing but a high-end type of attack sophistications, and these are nothing but a low-end type of attack sophistications. So as that code for the attack keep on increasing, the intruder is also enhancing their sharpness in designing that particular knowledge, thereby intruder find it find different means, thereby the different information security can be able to hacked, and thereby it can able to misuse, it can able to disclose, destruct, modify or disrupt by any means. Let's see the other angle of the information security from the perspective of aspects of securities. So what the aspects of security means? The security aspects is categorized into three forms. One is security attack, then security mechanisms, and security services. So these are the three categories over which we try to create the security attack, security mechanism, and security service. When we talk about a security attack, it is nothing but the action that comprise of security of informations owned by the organizations. And under this particular attack, either the information security attack, the systems can able to find the mechanism, like how it can be prevented, how it can be detected, thereby the security attack can be controlled. And there are often threats and attack by means of a wide range of attacks. So that's why the security attack plays a very generic rules. Security mechanism is nothing but how this attack, if it is occurs, what mechanism we should apply so that that particular security can be able to defend that type of attack. Security services is there. Once we understand the security attacks and how the mechanism we can able to employ for that security attack, we can use it for various services. Thereby, the security services can be able to streamline for with respect to the aspects of securities. Now let's see the generic type of attack. There are two type of attack. One is a passive attack, another is a active attack. Passive attack, you can see this figure. In this figure, Bob want to communicate with the Alice. That is how Bob want to do a information exchange. Darth is nothing but an intruder who is trying to attack the informations that is exchanged between the Bob and Alice. So in the case of a passive attack, this attacker, it tried to observe the message that is taking place between the two parties, and it will try to copy that message from them and use it for a malicious purpose. That means it is for a wrong purpose. So the passive attack is particular that type of attack in which the attacker observe the content of the message, copy the content of the message, and thereby it will use it for the future reference. So passive attack is something like a confidentiality. So the something confidentiality take place between the Bob and Alice, that is being used by the Darth for the future purpose. So due to this attack, there is no harm in the systems, but the information is being leaked out, and this is and the most important thing in the passive attack is that Bob and Alice become a victim, thereby they will not get any information of this attack because this is a passive. That means it's a hidden attack. So you can see internet or other communication facilities to connect Bob and Alice and read the content of the message between the Bob and Alice by Darth. So this is what a passive attack it means. Now there is another type of attack is called as an active attack. Now in this active attack is a little dangerous as compared to the passive attack. An attacker what it does is it tries to modify the content of the message. That means after receiving this information, that information is being modified. As if that Bob is want to inform that informing to Alice that you send me 10 rupees. So instead of that, Bob will the Bob information will be hacked by the Darth, and Darth will modify the 10 to 100 and pass on this information to Alice. Whereas Bob is requested for 10 rupees, Alice will be sending 100 rupees. So this 100 rupees will be hacked by the Darth, and from that 100 rupees, 90 rupees will be taken out and 10 rupees will be sending back to Bob, as if Bob will feel that Alice has sent 10 rupees to Bob. So this is how the active attack works. So active attacks is a type of attack in which attackers efforts is changed and modify the content of the message. Whereas in the passive attack, this content is not modified. So you will not find this arrow. You can see in the previous case that arrow is not there. But in the active attack, the additional arrow is shows that the content of the message is modified. Active attack is dangerous for the integrity between these two parties. Due to the active attack, always the system is damaged and the system resources can be modified or altered. So most important type of active attack is that here the victims get informed about the attack. In this case, victim will know about this attack. This is another way of representing the passive attack. Now, basically, passive attack means it attempts to learn and make use of information of the systems, but it does not affect the, the system resource. So a passive attack is basically another way we can term it as a eavesdropping or monitoring the eavesdropping means suppose two person is talking each other and third person is putting their ear close to it to listen it. That's known as eavesdropping. And the goal of the opponent or the attacker is what is to obtain the information that is transmitted. So here Lily want to pass information to John, and Bob, here is a Bob read the content of the message, and the what the Lily sent, that is known as a passive attacks. That is known as the release of message content. So like a telephonic conversation taking place between the two party, and the hackers will try to listen to that message, and thereby it will understand what is the actual information that is exchanged between the, or it will understand or learn the content of the transmissions. The another is a traffic analysis. Traffic analysis means here the opponents or the Bob will try to determine the type of the informations or the locations or identity of the particular host that is using that particular information, or what is the frequency and the length of that particular message that is being exchanged. Assume that instead of sending a direct message, that message is being coded into some form, and that is being exchanged between Lily and John. So Bob will observe its frequency, length, and how the pattern of that messages look like. Thereby it will try to pretend and guess the nature of communication taking place these two party. So that is the type of the information that is what being termed as a traffic analysis. Now if you look across the active attack is a masquerade. Masquerade means the attack take place when one entity pretend to a different entity. That is what here. So here Bob is pretending to be a Lily. So Lily is communicating with John, but but all the information that is taking place between the Lily or John is passing through the Bob. So when John send the information to Lily, as if the Bob will try to receive and reply for the John to feel that it is coming from Lily. So that is known as a masquerade. So a masquerade attack involves one or other form of a active attack. So that is known as a modifications. Next is a modification of a message. So in this case, what is that? The Bob tried to modify the message and send to John, or modify the message received from the John and sent to Lily. So in this case, the message is altered, and the message is even delayed or reordered for the unauthorized effect or unauthorized access. So it allows the John to read the message, or you can say the Bob read the confidential message between John and Lily. Now coming to the next form is the replay. Replay means it is basically it captured the message sent by John and modify it, or it will try to send the same message to Lily every times. So you can say that it will send the same message to Lily every time. So as if the Lily will feel that it has come from the John, or the vice versa. So this is a subsequent transmission to produce a unauthorized to feel an authorized effect. That is known as a retransmissions. Denial of service. Denial of service is very important. Is that suppose if there is a mistakes occurs, so instead of stating that it has there is a mistake, it will deny that I have not done it. So this will prevent the normal communication. So attacker what it will do, attacker will try to deny the message that it has received by me, or the Lily will say that the message has was not received by me from the John directly, rather it has come from the another. So the another form of a service denial is the disruptions of the entire network, whether by displaying the and disabling the network, or by overloading the message, or in a degraded forms. That means this type of attack, denial of a service, it will suppress all the message that is being directed from the sender to destinations. So if Lily send a message to John, John will say that it has not received. So there is no way the Lily can deny, Lily can prove that it has sent the message. So that denial of service is an active attack. So whatever the message is telling, Bob is trying to siphon it and trying to isolate that message from the sender to receiver. So this is nothing but a siphoning of the message. So this is another type of a attack. Now next is a repudiations. Repudiations means to transfer an amount to someone, and later the sender will deny that he has made such a request. This is known as a repudiation. Repudiation is nothing but again is another form of denials. So sender and the receiver can deny that they have sent or received the message. So that is known as repudiations. So these are nothing but a different type of attack. Now we see the security threats. So the security threats is, what are the different security threat is interceptions. Interceptions, interruptions, modifications, fabrications. See, this is a normal message. You send from the source, it has received at the receiver side. So this is a simple form of a message. So this type of a message is known as a normal flow. Now when we talk about interceptions means you are sending a message and it is being intercepted by the unauthorized party to gain the access. So what is this mean? This is the case with respect to the confidentiality. That means there is an attack on the confidentialities. So like a telephonic conversations is taking place through a live wires or a line phone. So that wire trapping will capture the data or the information, telephonic discussions, conversations between the network, or illicitly copying the data or a program, or eavesdropping. These are all nothing but interceptions. This is the interceptions. That means it is having a unauthorized access. Interruptions. Interruption means an asset or the systems that is being destroyed, or it is being blocked from unavailable or unusable to the destinations. Say for example, it will break the system's hard disk. So that is a destruction of a system's hardware, or a jamming, or creating a virus in the systems, or disabling the information management or a file management systems, etc. Even the file itself is being corrupted, so that it will becomes unavailable or unusable forms for the users. So this is known as interruptions. Another is nothing but a modification. You can see here is that information is accessed by the unauthorized party. It receives the information, modify it, and send to the destinations. So this is to access and tamper the assets. So attacker, in this case, integrity is being hampered, whereas in the case of inception, the confidentiality is being attacked. And in this case, what interruption means, it is the availability is being hacked. So these three things you have to you should keep it in your mind so that it will not. Interceptions means what? It attacks on the confidentiality, and interruption means it's attack on the availabilities. So that is the thing you have to keep. And what about modification? It attacks on the integrities. Now modifications, I have explained you how the hackers will try to replace. Fabrications. Fabrication means unauthorized party. It will access the systems, and it will not allow the one of the party to send the message to its actual receiver. Rather, the intruder will always receive it. So unauthorized party insert a counterfeit object. Counterfeit objects means what? It act as if it is the actual intended party to whom it is sent by the information source to the information destinations. So this attack is on the authenticity. Authenticity means here this party is thinking this is the actual intended, so this is authenticated one. Rather, in place of that, the intruder will try to act as a impersonations, and try to receive that data and reply also. So this type of hackers try to access the personal emails and sends the message, and it try to insert the data in the records, and try to insert a spurious message in the network. All these things is possible in the case of a fabrication. So these are nothing but a security threats: interruptions, interceptions, modifications, and fabrications. So these security threats also considered as one of the biggest issues related to the information security. That's why we say that information security, it tries to it's a process and methods, thereby it can implement to protect the confidentiality, integrity, authenticity, and even the availabilities of the systems from the unauthorized access or the intruders. So with this, we stop here with respect to these discussions. Thank you.